People are going to call the most recent episode of The Boys filler. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you think that episode was filler, you're an idiot. And here's why. Now, before I break down this episode, I'm going to tell you what the definition of filler is, because apparently it's become kind of a buzzword now, and as an anime watcher, I know what true filler is. A filler episode is an installment in a serialized show, comedy anime that does not advance the main plot, character development, or a canon storyline. These episodes are created to fill time when a show's production-paced episodes output the original source material. Example, manga, or a paid or pad season. They are usually ignorable, non-essential content. Now that we have started what the word filler means, let's dive into the episode. This episode starts off with the meeting in the Seven Tower, a huge change of pace compared to the openings we've gotten so far prior to the show. The Seven are raving about how to launch Homelander replacing God, with Firecracker and O-Father going back and forth, sharing ideas and even the hints of Soldier Boy and Firecracker's meetings. Now this video is an episode recap. I'm trying to explain why this episode was so good, so let's just get to it. Unlike the plot-driven episodes we had so far, leading from point A to point B, this time the show takes a different spin on things. We start off with Firecracker, who honestly was the highlight of this episode. She gets a phone call, which leads us to a cutaway of her meeting a reverend, a past reverend within her life before she became Firecracker, the gun-toting hero we know her as now. We get to learn more about Firecracker's past. We see that the man hosted Fish Fried Fridays, and that he would bring children in, people like Firecracker who needed hot meals when they were hungry. It was honestly a sweet and simple moment. It gave backstory and clarity that we as the audience didn't know about Firecracker. It makes her sympathetic in a way, and we don't really see her like this. Within their conversation, the Reverend speaks about a problem within his church. Ever since the Homelander Church opened up, cultivating people to believe that he is the one true God, the actual churches, like the one the Reverend works in, are losing money and people to the churches that Homelander 1 is running. Taking a pause right here, I love how this dives into the problem Vought and the Seven are creating. Looping back into the conversation Annie had with her newfound brother Mason last episode. When people are being force-fed propaganda, how in the world could the truth even compare? Whether people were acting out of fear or pure delusion. It just reinforces my point that episode 4 was just as important, and that these slower paced episodes and character driven episodes are just as important, and they are not filler. The Reverend also speaks about how his local soup is terrorizing the church and no one is coming to help him, not the mayor, the governor, or even any of Florida. It's why he came to Firecracker for help. This scene I think explains why I love Firecracker segments the most in this episode, and why I give Valerie Curry all her flowers. She obviously knows what's going on is bad, and she knows Homelander isn't a god, and that all the church stuff is pretty crazy. But her allegiance to Homelander is too great, it's too strong, and it's making her mindlessly believe the craziness she's saying. Get along with it. She even goes back and forth with the Reverend debating about God, trying to challenge that God focuses on America and not the whole world.
Name one way God's ever blessed Canada.
They talk about how Firecracker was so devoted to her faith that she used to carry around a Jesus action figure, and I actually love Firecracker's segments the most this episode because it really does relate to some people, especially now more than ever, and I really need people to see that. See how fast people switch up on not only who they were prior to the quote-unquote power they were gained, but just how some faiths and beliefs can clash with other ideals back in the past. Just leaving it in a turmoil and rift in someone, not knowing what to believe or who to trust or what to go to. Also, it ties into what the Reverend says about Homelander. Well, yes, he can do beyond human things. He isn't a god. Again, something this in your face and so bluntly obvious, it irks me that some people are so damn stupid they can't see the truth from the show it's telling. He has his own Bible, for Christ's sake. Firecracker's inner turmoil is more explained in her next scene where she talks about it with her conflict with Soldier Boy. She's clearly so forward with the idea that Homelander is God, but now that someone she cares about is in the firing line, she debates giving him more time, not getting him out. This is one of those small you might miss it moments if you're not paying attention. It's what makes Firecracker's character so great this episode. She's not trying to help or avert or even try to break the status quo of what's going on with the Reverend. She's simply trying to integrate him in an easier way. She's trying to help herself, not help him. Soldier Boy even says that Homelander being seen as a god is ridiculous, and that if he's a god, that would make him Joseph, Jesus' adopted father to the Lord himself. Firecracker herself outright says she's conflicted, not knowing where to place Homelander in relation to her religion of Christianity, still holding on to some faith. While she mainly leads towards Homelander, that small bit of Missy Tucker gray deep down is still there. I love how she had a direct parallel to Starlight as well, calling back to season 4. While Starlight had a debate whether to give into the hero antics to be Starlight or be Annie January, eventually ditching the Starlight persona and choosing to be Annie, Misty does the opposite, and is shown right here in probably one of the best scenes in the show. A full-on imagery of her throwing away her past and conflicting ideas, taking the right side of the street, and giving her all to Homelander again, an amazing parallel to Annie, as she took the left road and chose to herself, not Starlight, which only makes her scene with Homelander so much more impactful and great. With Homelander finding out about Firecracker and Soldier Boy's pillow talk, And for that simple reason alone, he fires her, wanting her to leave. And man, oh man, is this so relevant today. After everything she did, all the ass kissing, all the literal throwing away her past and giving in to Homelander, exactly where does that lead her? Where exactly is she placed in this new world order being set up? Sister Sage. Again, what made this episode so freaking good was Sister Sage's one shot. While it was the shortest one, I do believe it probably held the most weight diving into the plot of the show. We finally learn her plan and her motives, and what her endgame is in all of this, when Ashley is finally introduced. We learn that Homelander's ideas aren't so great, and that Vough's stocks and popularity is actually tanking, and as a Vought CEO, Sister Sage should be worried, but she's actually not. It's because she doesn't care. She actually wants a deployment because she knows in soon time it won't matter at all. While all the soups worldwide return to America, and everyone worldwide starting to hate Vought, we learn that the reason why Sage doesn't care is because she knows Homelander wants to be immortal. She talks to Back Ashley or Bashley to read Soldier Boy's mind, which proves that this episode isn't filler because it's setting up a future plot point for another episode, contradicting what filler is, but I digress. Sage doesn't want Homelander to become immortal because it ruins her master plan, that being...
Helping Homelander take control of the country is phase 1. It was only ever the beginning. Phase 2 is the end.
The end of what?
The world. After this soup-killing virus is released...
Wait, you want it released?
Oh, you bet I do. After Soups realize humans are behind it, all hell will break loose. Soups butchering humans, virus butchering Soups. Oh, fucking World War Soup.
I don't believe you.
Swear on my grandma's soul.
Why would you possibly want that?
Because I'll be watching from my cozy bunker outside Colorado Springs. And when it's all over, I can read all day, every day. No one bothering me. Nothing but peace and quiet forever. Which is why Homelander can't survive. That needy asshole would never give me a moment's rest. It defeats the whole purpose.
She wants an all-out war between humanity and Soups, leaving everyone to die while she sits cozy in her little bunker, which we can actually see her drawing in the beginning of her segment. I love finally knowing Sage's plan, but more importantly, diving into Sage's character, which doubles down on why I love this episode so much. It's real that after her powers being just super smart, Sage's family casted her away to her grandmother's, who actually saw her powers as being useful and potential-wise. Sage truly did care for her grandmother, and we learned back in season 4 that her grandma died because of cancer that she actually could have cured. But nobody cared because, well, it explains here, nobody cared about her powers or the fact that she's a black woman in America. And it's an amazing callback and even greater tie-in and reinforcement to Sage's character and motive to why her master plan is the way she is. Eric Kripke is honestly a genius for writing Sage this way. When you have such a smart character, that character only goes as far as the writers can go, and Sage wanted to end the world completely so that she can read in peace due to the fact that everyone in her life has looked down upon her for not only being black, a woman, but a black woman with uninteresting powers. It's so fucking good, bro. It's so fucking good. The segment for Soldier Boy was more on the nose, but that didn't make it any less great at all. I loved how all the segments were more pro-Homelander and pro-more Vought fascism, but we finally get one where the point of view is more anti-Homelander stuff. Revealing Mr. Marathon and actually some great guest cameos. These cameos served more as more just funniness. The cameos actually has some weight to it. For once, we get to see how actual celebrities would be reacting to what's happening within their world of the boys. With people within their own stardom getting locked up and killed, what would someone like Seth Rogen actually say or do if Tyler Creator got arrested? And even the whole conversation between the multiple celebrities was probably the most realistic dialogue I've heard in a while, probably honestly ever. We see banter of them not only wanting to make change, but not knowing how, even suggesting that they take to make Instagram posts like the BLM movement back in 2020, and it was obviously an amazing meta commentary reference to our real world problems as well. Simply thinking because you made an Instagram post or a TikTok video you made true change is laughable at best. But we also see how some people would use the craziness of the world to better themselves, like how Christopher Mintz suggested saying Monka Sierra was a starlighter so that he can get a role instead of him, and I guarantee you a lot of you will be doing the same thing he did, or a lot of you will be talking the same way these people did. This was beyond amazing world building. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but it was super relatable to what we have going on now. The boys' writing is just, it's so genius. It's truly genius. But besides that, we also get to see Soldier Boy start to warm up to Homelander after episodes of him neglecting and even hating his own son. The fact that he goes there and chooses not to kill his own son actually reveals that Soldier Boy might not be as less hateful of Homelander as we think. Again, this episode is not filler. Soldier Boy and Homelander also learned the location of the V1, so that right there is a complete movement again saying it's not filler. I don't know how many times I gotta say it. While there were more great segments of this episode, we could see Tara's POV of the boys team, another scene of Huey and Butcher going back and forth about the debate of V1, leading to them having to save Tara's life, where Butcher comes to the idea that maybe saving someone isn't such a bad idea at all, knowing that loss of when he originally lost Becca, thinking he was going to lose Tara, knowing Huey's feelings about almost everything after losing Tara, and just that POV and psyche of it was amazing to see. And even Black Noir segment, where we get to see the rising tension between him and the Deep. And while Noir is parallel to the previous one that didn't talk, I didn't see those as the same magnitude as the Firecrackers and Sage or even Soldier Boy segments, but they were still great and made the episode amazing as well. This episode was honestly just so good top to bottom. It's honestly one of my favorite episodes of the show and probably all time. I might have to go back and rewatch it, but it's gonna probably creep that list. I think this is the boys' version of the Fly episode from Breaking Bad. You know, the episode calling back to when Walter and Jesse were stuck in the lab trying to kill a fly, and it was kind of like his cousin's episode of Walter and how he's obsessing over mixing and making what they were making. But I think this is their version of the Fly, honestly. Now with this episode done, and episode 4 prior, doing a character study on the boys, we know where every character stands, leading up to the status quo of what the episodes are going to be coming forward. And I just think that this episode really revolutionized what we have as the boys right now. The status quo completely erased. Homelander setting into madness. We know what everybody's thinking, and it's so amazing. And again, it's not filler. I can't stress this enough.
I'm in love with broken girls.